to BCC Kids Online.
We are so glad you could have joined us.
Okay, BCC Kids, it's time to get the morning started. Let's start with worship.
God's love never fails and it lasts forever. Our God is great. Our God is great. My God is with me. Yes, He's with me wherever. Our God is great. Our God is great. He's an awesome God. Bigger than my wildest dreams. Monumental love. Eternal love for you and me. 'Cause He's an awesome God. Our God's an awesome God. God is in charge and He watches over me. Our God is great. Our God is great. My God is strong and He'll never let go of me. Our God is great. Our God is great. He's an awesome God. Bigger than my wildest dreams. Monumental love. Eternal love for you and me. 'Cause He's an awesome God. Our God's an awesome God. Yeah. Our God is great.
Our God is awesome.
Celebrate.
Celebrate.
Our God is great.
Our God is awesome.
Celebrate.
Celebrate.
He's an awesome God. Bigger than my wildest dreams. Monumental love. Eternal love for you and me. 'Cause He's an awesome God. Bigger than my wildest dreams. Monumental love. Eternal love for you and me. 'Cause He's an awesome God. Our God's an awesome God. Our God's an awesome God.
We made it into week 2 of Monumental, celebrating God's greatness.
Now, are you ready for the next part of our story? I hope you are.
I am.
Good, good.
Yeah. When we last left things off, Joseph was riding into Egypt after being sold by his brothers. That sounds really bad, don't you think?
It does sound really bad. You know what?
Yeah.
Joseph became a slave, which means he lost his freedom and he was owned by someone else. So throughout history, there has been people who thought that they can own other people and force them to work without getting paid.
Yeah, I don't like the sounds of that. When Joseph got to Egypt, the rich and powerful Pharaoh named Potiphar bought Joseph as a slave. Poor Joseph went from feeling super special to being a servant.
And you know what? Serving others and helping out isn't always fun. And he was forced to work with no pay. And remember, he had lost his family as well. But we need to remember, God was with Joseph everywhere he went. So Joseph worked hard and did his best. And it showed. Potiphar was so impressed that he put Joseph, you know what, in charge of his whole house.
Joseph became Potiphar's personal assistant. But get this, one day Joseph got in trouble for something he didn't even do. Has that ever happened? Has that ever happened to any of you guys? Because it sure happened to me. I gotta ask, have you ever gotten in trouble for something that you didn't do? Let me tell you an example of when that happened to me. When I was little, my brother and I used to leave our toys out without cleaning them up. That wasn't a good thing because my parents would trip over them or my baby brother would get a hold of them. Because of that, we weren't allowed to leave our toys out lying around, obviously. We had to clean up after ourselves, which I'm sure has happened to you. One time, my brother left our toys out, and when my mom asked us who left them out, he said it was me. I got in trouble for it when I didn't do anything. I was really upset when that happened, and I had to clean them all up, which I didn't really deserve to do, obviously. Now, that's just one example that I can tell you, and I'm sure it felt very similar to what Joseph went through when he was sent to prison for something he didn't do.
Now, just because God is with us doesn't mean bad things won't happen. God was with Joseph, but his life went from bad to worse. He got in so much trouble for something he didn't even do, and he got sent to prison for it. He went from favorite son to slave and now prisoner.
Can you imagine that happening to you?
Oh, it'd be awful.
I know. So, if you were in prison, especially if you didn't do anything for it, you might feel like God had abandoned you. But get this, he didn't. Joseph knew that God was with him, even when he was in jail. And God allowed Joseph to find favor when he was there.
You know, eventually Joseph met two prisoners who had worked for the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. One of them had been Pharaoh's cupbearer. That's the guy who serves Pharaoh's drinks and makes sure they're not poisoned. Then the other prisoner was his chief baker. The baker and the cupbearer could tell God was with Joseph. So when they had problems, they had these strange dreams that were happening. They knew to go to Joseph for help.
Sounds like pretty important people.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing both of these dreams, Joseph knew exactly what they meant. Joseph told the cupbearer that in 3 days he'd get his job back at the palace. But the news for the baker wasn't so good. It meant that in 3 days, the baker was going to die.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? Joseph was right. 3 days later, the cupbearer got his job back and the baker died. God was with Joseph, helping him interpret these dreams. And I'm so glad that he did.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Now, poor Joseph had asked the cupbearer to remember him and to speak kindly of him to the Pharaoh. But you know what? He forgot. So Joseph stayed in jail another 2 years. So in the end, he stayed in jail for 11 years.
That is a crazy long amount of time. Alrighty guys, let's stop the story here for now. There's lots more to be told in the weeks coming. But I want you to remember that God was with Joseph wherever he went, whether it was in Canaan, Egypt, Potiphar's house, and even in prison.
God loved Joseph, and you know what? God loves you no matter what and goes with you wherever you go. Thanks, BCC Kids. Hope you enjoyed the story. See you later.
This is what happened in the cupbearer's dream. In my dream, he said, I saw a grapevine in front of me. The vine had 3 branches that began to bud and blossom, and soon it produced clusters of ripe grapes. I was holding Pharaoh's wine cup in my hands, so I took a cluster of grapes and squeezed the juice into the cup. Then I placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. That's from Genesis 40, verse 9 to 11. Now, this is the baker's dream. In my dream, there were 3 baskets of white pastries stacked on top of my head. The top basket contained all kinds of pastries for Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate them from the basket on my head. That's from Genesis 40, verse 16 and 17. Now, Joseph came along and he interpreted these dreams. He said that the cupbearer was going to get his job back, working for the Pharaoh. And he also said that the baker was sadly going to die. And guess what? It happened. Have you guys ever heard of the Desert Hedgehog before? No? Well, I'm here to help you learn all about this unique desert creature. Our Desert Hedgehog is a small but mighty fellow, weighing only about 280 to 500 grams, that's the weight of a pop can, and about 140 to 200 millimeters long, which is the size of a pen. Can you imagine? Despite their small size, this spiky creature can run fairly fast and has been successful in protecting itself for many, many years. Speaking of protection, the Desert Hedgehog has a pretty cute way of doing it. If in danger, this hedgehog rolls into a teeny tiny ball in order to expose all of its spikes, providing all the protection it needs. Time for some fun facts. Did you know that the baby desert hedgehogs are called hoglets? Pretty funny, eh?
Girls are called sows and boys are called boars. Also, these hedgehogs love it hot. Do you like hot temperatures? Well, these guys love it when the temperature gets up to 40 degrees, even 42. Lastly, hedgehogs can sleep for ages, as long as 18 hours straight. Crazy, right? Well, I hope you had fun learning all about desert hedgehogs.
Via and I have had so much fun this morning, teaching you about the Joseph story, learning about a hedgehog, and of course, worshiping together. We'll see you next week as we learn more about the Joseph story. Bye for now, BCC kids. Oh, and don't forget, it's time to worship. Then we finish.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Are you ready, everybody? Here we go. Everybody get down low. You can go even lower. Here we go. Everybody jump up high. Come on, jump up. I know you can jump even higher. Come on, let's shout as loud as we can shout. Woo! God is here right now. Yes, He's here without a doubt. Yeah, He is always with us through every up and down. He will never leave us. He'll always be around. He's the one we can trust. God will always be with us. God will always be with us. Yeah! Now you ready to spin around?